2, 1, begin. Or not. Okay, yes.
Beware what you ask, nomad.
Oh.
Curiosity is a charming
Dude,
trait
okay, that's
until it
elder
is
stuff
not.
in the background.
Information will be volunteered, not coerced. It will create more questions than it answers. When at last their shadow is cast upon the firmament, it will take
You're the
more
creator
than you
of the
can
Elder?
possess to bind and silence the screams within your mind.
Or are these the Harbingers?
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
Yeah, he said the
Thank you so
thing.
much for joining us today as we unveil Path of Exile's 3.13 expansion. This release contains everything you've come to expect from a Path of Exile expansion release. A new challenge league, new skills, new items, metagame rebalances, and an endgame content update which will leave a lasting impact on Path of Exile. Our team have been very hard at work over the last few months, and we've got a lot up our sleeves to share with you today. But before we jump in, we wanted to mention that Twitch drops are enabled for the duration of this live stream.
Yeah.
Below the stream, you'll find the instructions to link your Path of Exile account to Twitch so that you're eligible to receive drops.
And my stream should
2020
also
was
allow for
certainly a
drops.
difficult year for
So woot.
development, but it was also one that saw a lot of big things happen with Path of Exile. In late 2019, we held our first ExileCon convention, where we announced several projects, including Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile Mobile. Throughout 2020, we developed 4 major expansions: Delirium, Harvest, and Heist, as well as the one we're going to unveil today. We launched on the Epic Games Store and released our Vulkan renderer and a macOS client for Path of
Vulkan
Exile.
was legit.
We're
Just
really
saying.
proud of what we achieved last year under difficult conditions and can't wait to continue the journey with you through 2021, where we expect to reveal much more about Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile Mobile, as well as 4 releases for Path of Exile, including the one you're about to see. Thanks again for being here with us. It wouldn't be possible without you. In today's live stream, we'll kick things off with a 3.13 announcement trailer, then take a deep dive into exploring the new expansion's content and features.
Well,
Once
there's a
the
lot of people
reveals are
on.
wrapped up, we'll launch into a live Q&A where community streamer Ziggy D will ask me questions from Twitch chat, so
Yeah,
be sure to get
Ziggy.
your questions ready. Once the Q&A is over, we'll be jumping into an episode of the Bay Class podcast, where Taki Cat and his crew of Path of Exile veterans will discuss today's reveals. I'm sure you're keen for me to stop talking and start revealing the new content.
Okay,
so
I'll
let's
probably
jump
go
right
till
into
the Q&A. I don't
3.13
know about
trailer.
watching the Bay
See you on
Class.
the other side.
Hey, yeah, okay, cool. I see my stream up on the eligible streams for drops. Yeah, okay, cool, we good. Not gonna lie, I
What
thought I
drives
loaded the
you,
game.
Exile? Is it justice? Revenge? Honor? No. It is power. We felt your deeds.
Oh, that's just a new effect for... maybe? Or unless Flame Blast can drop things.
Felt their shockwaves ripple through the void. You have our attention.
Ooh,
Now
What
you
the-
must keep it.
new goat boss? Let's go.
Your limits will be tested. Break them,
Okay, I can deal with the bossing arena. Let's do it.
and the Atlas will follow.
Oh my gosh, what? Kitava, like, oh yes. Bossing League, here we go. We finally there. Whoa, hang on. Okay. I'm kind of afraid they went too big on the scope creep, though. They always scare me when they start showing too much stuff that they didn't even think about showing before.
The stars themselves will bear silent witness. How far would you bend before you break?
That freeze pulse, or was that something new? Echoes of the Atlas. Yeah. Okay, we guessed it would be Echoes. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who got that one.
That's one of my favorite Path of Exile trailers. We've released, what, like 35 trailers so far over the last decade, and I still get shivers watching each new one. Props to our video guy Evan for great work as usual. So there's a lot to cover based on what we've just seen. Let's get right into it. In 2016, we introduced the Atlas of Worlds, a formal progression system for Path of Exile's endgame maps that culminated in a pinnacle boss fight against the Shaper. Since then, the War for the Atlas and Conquest of the Atlas expansions have expanded the Atlas system, introduced new endgame bosses, broadened mechanics, added new rewards, and provided more opportunity for mastery of Path of Exile's endgame. The Echoes of the Atlas expansion introduces a new pinnacle boss, a new way to fight many map bosses at the same time, 11 new maps to explore, and new endgame rewards to earn.
Is it going to be Calandra?
Into Echoes of the Atlas, you will begin to encounter an NPC called the Envoy. It seems that when the Elder was sealed, its absence didn't go unnoticed. The Envoy speaks ominously of new visitors to the Atlas. The first such visitor, and the focus of this endgame expansion, is an entity called the Maven.
Oh, okay. So, nobody would know.
First encounter the Maven in the boss arena of a map, where she will make the boss encounter more difficult and watch as you do your best to defeat it. If you're successful, she'll give you her beacon, which lets you call her to any map in that region, so she can watch more fights. After showing her your boss-killing prowess, she will give you an invitation to her own realm, where she has prepared a special challenge.
I hate that boss.
The Maven really wants to push you to your limits, and has fabricated copies of the bosses she watched you defeat. This time, however, you'll have to defeat them simultaneously. If you manage to best her challenge, she'll politely ask you to do the whole cycle again, except this time she wants to
That's one of the coolest looking. Yes, it is.
And her next challenge
Definite 10 out of 10
bosses,
NPC.
then 5, then 6, and finally 10. If you're persistent and talented, you may even get to fight the Maven herself, in a very difficult boss encounter designed to challenge the strongest and best Path of Exile players.
Not gonna lie, Sirius looks pretty weak sauce. He's pretty mid.
The opportunity to acquire some very powerful new rewards, including Atlas passive skill points, craftable watchstones, and even the Maven's Orb. As you complete the Maven's challenges, you'll earn passive skill points that can be allocated on a special passive skill tree in that region of the Atlas of Worlds.
So are watchstones gone?
Each of the Atlas's regions has its own passive tree, and they generally have around 20 nodes to choose from. You can earn up to a total of 10 skill points per Atlas region.
I mean, we'll go back and watch this later.
Let's check out some of the Atlas passive choices in the Glennick Cairns region. This branch allows you to focus on Beyond, increasing the amount of experience granted by Beyond monsters, but also allowing you to spawn more Beyond monsters really easily. The Torn Veil notable will drastically increase the quantity of Beyond demons you can encounter.
Holy crap.
The Legion branch has a notable passive which increases the amount of time you have to break enemies out.
It was 100% emergent radius.
It's an example of a skill that you could invest into while you're weak, and then remove it later once you're more powerful. And yes, as I implied here, there is an orb that lets you refund Atlas passives.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
The Incursion branch allows you to more easily get higher tier rooms in the Temple of Atsuatl, and helps you make a definitive decision on whether to swap specific rooms. On the Ambush branch, the tamper-proof notable passive upgrades all strongboxes to be rare and corrupted. This synergizes incredibly well with the Ambush Zana mod or prophecies like Monstrous Treasure. While it prevents you from re-rolling valuable types of strongboxes, the sheer number of corrupted 6-socket and 6-link items will certainly be tempting.
Yeah.
Now let's have a look at the Atlas
boxes have a chance to be open twice. Is that what I read?
Region. The Harvest branch can increase your chances of finding a sacred
200%
increase
XP.
its crafting rewards, and make it more likely that you'll encounter a Shabi. We'll explain later in the presentation about how Harvest is being integrated into the core game in this expansion. The Torment branch can increase item drops from possessed and touched monsters, as well as populating the area with some already possessed monsters. These synergize quite well with the Sextants that guarantee a certain amount of rewards from possessed monsters. The Delve branch can increase your Sulfite gains, grant more Master Favor, and
hopefully I'm not over top of too many.
The Sulfite Infusion notable passive grants Sulfite for defeating map bosses.
Yes, please. Oh my gosh.
Has Nico present. This means that you'll be constantly gaining Sulfite for every map you do.
200 additional
which is a
Voltaxic.
great strategy if you're not already using Sulfite Scarabs aggressively.
500
There are also
on
breach
red
buses,
maps.
which increase your chances of encountering a breach and ramp up the difficulty and rewards of your breaches. Naturally,
Okay.
new endgame content means new endgame
Dude, that's hype.
rewards.
This is...
Watchstones are an endgame item that can be placed in the Atlas of Worlds to upgrade a region's map tiers and add new base maps to that region. There are
Okay.
two types of existing Watchstones. Quest item ones that can upgrade a region and can't be traded between players, and unique Ivory Watchstones that provide special bonuses and can be traded. These unique ones are consumed after a number of maps are run. The Echoes of the Atlas expansion introduces 3 new types of craftable Watchstones:
They go in the
Titanium,
middle?
Chromium, and Platinum. Like regular Watchstones, these never expire, but unlike regular Watchstones, they can be traded and crafted. They are found
Holy
quite
shit.
late in your progression through the Atlas. The eventual goal is that you replace all of your base quest item Watchstones with the new craftable ones over time as you upgrade your Atlas. Each of these 3 types of new Watchstone has its own special mod pool, but there's also a shared mod pool that they all draw from. Like flasks, they can only be normal or magic. You can't find or craft rare Watchstones. Because you can have up to 4 Watchstones socketed in a region, up to 8 mods can affect that region, and some quite
Holy
large
crap,
bonuses to
dude.
specific content can be stacked.
The juice!
When combined
The
with the Atlas
juice!
passive trees, these really
drink
allow
doesn't
you
have
to
anything
optimize
close.
what content you encounter and the rewards from that content. The Maven's Orb is
I
an
just saw
endgame
1%
crafting
more
currency
sulfite.
item that can only drop from the Maven herself. It allows you to craft influence modifiers when 2 or more are present on an item by removing one modifier and upgrading another. When upgrading an influence modifier of the current highest tier, it upgrades to a new elevated tier that can have additional properties.
Wait, what?
This Foul Regalia has 2 Crusader influence modifiers on it, the percentage increased intelligence one and the physical damage taken as lightning
What?
damage one. When we apply a Maven's Orb to it, it randomly removes one of these mods and upgrades the other one to become an elevated influence mod. In this case, it upgraded the increased intelligence mod to also have +1 to the level of socketed intelligence gems. The other influence mod was removed. This opens up a mod slot, of course, so it's now possible to add another mod to it. Let's YOLO exalt it for good measure.
Yeah. Holy shit, dude.
Maven's Orb crafting is only going to be performed by the upper echelons of elite players, and pushes the boundaries of the best items that are possible in Path of Exile.
Yo.
One of the things that players look forward to in an endgame Path of Exile expansion is new maps to play.
11
In
new
Echoes of the
maps.
Atlas,
Let's
we have
go.
added 11 new types of maps to the Atlas of Worlds, covering a wide variety of environments. And of course, each comes with its own challenging boss fight. Let's have a look at 4 of these new tile sets.
Okay, so that's that goat thing. Goat 2.0. Okay, that's probably not a goat, now that I look at it. I don't know what that is. Yo, ships! Yeah, there we go. We're gonna have ship map. Ah, there we go. Dang it, Bex. Come on. Bex trolled us. Okay, fair enough. Touche.
So good, but the environment art tile set and level design teams working on them have been doing so much work on Path of Exile 2 recently. And it's not just the 4 maps that we showed you here.
Whoa.
There are 7 other new maps with their own bosses to discover in-game in this expansion.
Okay, that's...
Whenever we release a new
That-
quarterly Path of Exile update, we start a new challenge league. These are essentially a fresh server to play on for that expansion launch, where players explore the new league mechanics, rush to conquer the new economy, race to level 100, and try to get the best items.
Wait,
before their
Ritual.
friends.
Oh, we're doing Ritual.
The
Okay.
Challenge League being released alongside Echoes of the Atlas is the Ritual League.
Sorry, I just
In the
missed that.
Ritual League, you'll discover several mysterious altars in each area you explore. Slay the monsters at the ritual site and then activate the altar to initiate the ritual. When it begins, you'll be enclosed within the ritual circle and will have to face off against both the onslaught of monsters you've just slain and also the specific powers of that altar.
Okay, nobody's
Each
doing this in
subsequent
hardcore.
ritual in the area will summon
Till,
all
like-
monsters from the previous ones, so the
Yeah.
difficulty and reward ramp up as you challenge yourself with each successive ritual.
Very simple
Monsters
league,
you
though.
kill after you have activated a ritual grant you points called Tribute. At the end of each ritual, you'll have an opportunity to spend this tribute on various reward
Oh, I
items.
see that down there at the
These
bottom.
items vary greatly in power and
1,170.
cost, so you may find you can afford several cheaper ones or one more valuable one.
Oh,
For
dude,
clarity,
that's
tribute
hype.
doesn't transfer between game areas. As you complete subsequent rituals in the same area, more potential rewards will be revealed, which can be very expensive.
Zoff's
If you
charge
can't
respawn?
afford
Holy
to
crap.
purchase a reward outright, you can spend a portion of its cost to defer it until later. This means that it will show up in a later area at a reduced price. Items
Oh,
can be
wow.
deferred multiple times until you can eventually afford them, and for some of the most valuable rewards in this league, this may be the easiest way to
Or
obtain them.
Exalt?
You can also spend some tribute to re-roll the contents of the reward screen one time per instance if you'd like a new set of reward items to choose from. Among the many other rewards you can choose from in Ritual are a special new set of Ritual base types.
I'm calling
These
it now.
craftable
With
items
this, how
have different
simple this
implicit
is.
modifiers than Path of Exile's regular base
Whoa, hang on.
types.
Exert attack deal
Specifically, they have a
40%
strong
increased.
upside combined with an accompanying
2-second
downside.
cooldown on Wark Rise.
If you can create a build
Oh,
that mitigates
no,
this
plus
drawback,
2.
then you can
Oh,
take
shit.
advantage of the power of these items and craft them into something amazing. For example, these Nexus gloves reduce your maximum mana, but have a chance of immediately refunding the mana spent to use a skill. If you can work around this restriction to your mana pool, you can periodically use skills for essentially no mana cost.
Movement Trickster?
Here are two other examples of ritual-based types.
Would that work?
The Penitent Mask and the Stormraider Boots. The Penitent Mask applies the Crush debuff to you, removing your physical damage protection. However, its upside is that it increases the effect of Fortify on you by quite a lot, reducing the damage you take from hits. There are many situations
most
where
of
this
the
is a
time-
huge win, such as if you already have no armor or endurance charges. The Stormraider Boots reduce your accuracy rating but provide a huge added lightning damage boost to your attacks based on your
Per
accuracy
accuracy?
rating.
Let's
If there are
go.
other sources of accuracy to rely on, then this is potentially a huge increase to the lightning
Okay,
damage you deal.
those boots with a bow and
In
Juggernaut.
the end game,
Let's
you can
do it.
obtain ritual vessels, which allow you to itemize the monsters from a ritual. You can place up to 4 vessels in the map device alongside a map to add the monsters stored in those vessels to the rituals present in the map. This increases both the difficulty and rewards of the rituals, as well as generating even more tribute to spend on those rewards. For example, because there's a chance of encountering a Headhunter or Mirror of Calandra as rewards, using ritual vessels increases the chances you'll be offered those items and allows you to afford them. In addition, you can use these vessels to substantially increase monster density in maxed out maps that have mechanics like Beyond or Delirium present.
I was already joking that this
Using
was
vessels,
Juice
you
League.
have control over the
You
risk
can
and
juice
reward
the
of your
juice
hardest
with
ritual
more
encounters.
juice.
Vessels are tradable both before and after they contain monsters. In addition to the new endgame content in the Ritual Challenge League,
This
a
is
large
what
focus
blows
of
my
the
mind,
Echoes of
like,
the Atlas
what-
expansion is on its
I'm
ascendancy
really-
classes. Path of Exile has 19
Yeah, right.
ascendancy classes, which let you specialize your character further than the base character classes allow. To unlock your ascendancy class, you must find the Altar of Ascendancy at the end of the Lord's Labyrinth. In this expansion, we've rebalanced every one of these 19 classes.
Wait,
and have
what? All of
significantly
them?
Reworked 3 of them.
Okay,
The
okay, wait, hang on.
Elementalist, The Inquisitor, and the Deadeye.
Okay,
The aim of
significantly.
these changes is to redistribute
Yes,
and
Inquisitor,
simplify power
finally.
so that Ascendancy passive skills perform stronger
I don't know if
single
Deadeye
functions
needed
more
it.
effectively. Let's check some of them out. The Elementalist has always been a good
Elementalist,
general
though,
ascendancy
yes!
class for many elemental builds, but lacked
Are we
really
starting
in-depth
Elementalist this
build
league? Come on.
options.
Come on,
You
Chris.
can pick which elemental ailments
Make my
to
day,
use for greater
please.
build customization, as well as providing more consistent power against tougher enemies. The Elementalists can also protect themselves from a large amount of elemental damage.
What do we got?
Bastion of Elements provides a significant
Not
defensive
blocking you
shield
good.
against elemental damage, which can be further improved by allocating more skills on your passive tree and ascendancy tree.
Huh.
The Liege of the Primordial and Elemental skills focus on golem builds. Taking Liege of the Primordial now means that your golems are automatically resummoned 4 seconds after they die. To make your
Oh,
golems
yes!
immune to elemental damage, you'll now
Yes!
spec into Elemental as well as Liege of the Primordial. Previously, the Shaper of
Dude!
Desolation skill forced you to improve both shocking and chilling, even if you didn't
Auto
use both.
golems!
We've now moved these benefits
Auto
into different
golems!
branches, culminating in the Shaper of
Yes!
Flames, Winter, and Storm skills, allowing you to pick which ailments you improve.
Yes!
You can use and enhance Ignite, Chill, and Shock on any build.
Come on, Ignite. Where's Ignite? 25%
Mastermind
more
of
damage!
Discord no longer
Yes!
focuses on
I think
heals
that's
and
more.
allows you to
I think that's
strip
more than
all
what we got.
elemental resistances from your enemies effectively. Pendulum of Destruction has been reworked as Heart of Destruction, providing more elemental damage or area of effect when you need them most.
Yes, thank you.
The Inquisitor has derived much of its power from its Inevitable Judgment skill, but the rest of the tree was fairly straightforward and lacked anything.
Not gonna lie, I
truly
might be
unique.
doing a Blade Blast build.
After our changes in this expansion, many more of the Inquisitor skills provide significantly more offensive or defensive power.
I wonder they'll do
while
poison,
Instruments of Zeal opens up an entirely new and very unique playstyle. Let's have a look at some of the new Inquisitor Ascendancy
I'm ready to move my
skills.
camera around.
Pious Path no longer affects attack and cast speed. It now allows you to double the potential recovery of life regeneration by having it apply equally to Energy Shield. Sanctuary no longer provides mana, but now has a larger damage bonus from Consecrated Ground, up from 10% to 15%.
Huh.
Righteous Providence has been simplified a lot. It still focuses on critical strike chance, but it now scales it up by a percentage equivalent to either your strength or intelligence
Whoa,
value.
plus
whichever
50
one is
strength and
lowest.
lightning?
It
What?
also provides
Yes!
plus 50 to both of these attributes, which is a huge benefit
Yeah.
in multiple ways.
We
You
stat
definitely
stacking.
want lots of both attributes. Instruments of Virtue has been simplified and made more powerful. Its benefits no longer strictly apply if you've cast a spell or attacked recently, but it now grants 10% more attack damage for each non-instant spell you've cast recently, up to a maximum of 30%.
Huh.
It also grants Battle Mage, which causes you to gain added spell damage equal to the damage of your main hand
And
weapon.
weapon.
This provides a
Whoa.
lot of new hybrid spellcast and melee build possibilities.
Whoa, dude, what?
You can combine Instruments of Virtue with the new Instruments of Zeal Ascendancy passive. This introduces the concept of fanaticism, which causes spells you cast yourself to have 75% more cast speed, reduced mana cost, and increased area of effect. Fanaticism is gained by using attacks regularly, giving huge bonuses for weaving attacking and spellcasting together.
So,
Historically, the Deadeye Ascendancy was the best place
okay,
to
well,
find a
we'll look at the
variety
Deadeye.
of strong projectile
Inquisitor,
effects.
though.
But over time, more of these
I wanna
effects
do-
have shown up on items, and the Deadeye has lost much of what made it unique. We've brought the uniqueness back to this Ascendancy with a variety of new mechanics that enable new ways to build and play ranges. Let's have a look at the new Deadeye Ascendancy skills. Far Shot now deals 60% more damage
Okay.
to enemies far away,
Yes!
which is up from 30% before.
There we go, thank
but now
you.
also deals 20% less damage to enemies that are close.
Barrages have no
No
spread!
longer has a projectile speed
Woo!
bonus, but now
Let's
removes the
go!
spread from your barrages. This additional damage rewards Deadeyes who can keep their distance from their targets. Previously, Ricochet caused your projectiles to chain an additional time and granted 10% more damage for each remaining chain. The new Ricochet allows your projectiles to both chain an additional time and have a chance to chain off walls and terrain. Endless Munitions has been simplified to offer
But you
2
take,
additional projectiles rather than 1 additional projectile. and
Point
some other
blank
minor
and that, and
bonuses.
you pretty much
The
lose
skill
no
is
damage.
accessible behind 3 of the Deadeye's paths, making it an option for many different Deadeye builds. Occupying Force is
Or
a
it should
new
be
skill
close.
that benefits Mirage Archers by granting you additional ones and allowing them to be separate from you. Gathering Winds now always grants Tailwind to permanently boost your speed, and the increase to Tailwind effect per skill used is now given by the Gale Force buff.
Whoa.
Windward
Okay.
enhances the Gathering Winds passive by making Gale Force a lot more effective, with the drawback of losing all Gale Force if you're hit. If you can stay out of the fray, this potentially makes your character even more potent. The Rupture skill previously helped Critical Strike bleed builds. It's been renamed to Rupture Ring and has been simplified while being made more powerful. Critical strikes that inflict bleeding now also inflict Rupture, which causes bleeding enemies to
25%.
lose more life, but their bleed expires more quickly.
Oh, interesting.
Focal
And it
Point is a
stacks up
new
to
skill which
3
improves
times,
the
I
effect
thought I
of
saw
mark
there?
skills that were made more powerful in our recent heist expansion. It increases the effect of your marks by 75% and makes surrounding
I really want
enemies
to make a
deal less
bleed
damage to
bow
you.
Deadeye. And it actually worked.
As you have seen, the Elementalist, Inquisitor, and Deadeye have undergone some major changes in this expansion. We have also improved the other 16 Ascendancy
So what would we do
classes, and we'll
for
show you some of the
Inquisitor?
changes
Wild
self-flagged
Strike?
To demonstrate what you can expect. Some
Maybe a
Slayer
Wild
effects
Strike?
were much stronger than others, limiting build choice. We've now provided more power spread out over a wider selection of passives, while allowing easier access to the Slayer's special leech mechanic.
Okay.
Brutal Fervor and Endless Hunger have switched places on their Ascendancy branch so that Life Leech is more accessible and can be further improved by speccing into Endless Hunger. Masterful Form
Huh.
still causes you to have endurance charges equal to the number of frenzy charges you have, but now grants an additional frenzy charge instead of increasing endurance and frenzy charge duration.
Dude, that is broken.
Overwhelm's base critical strike chance for attacks with weapons has been increased.
Back to 8? we
Hopefully
We
you have
nerfed
a
it.
good
Now
idea of the scope of
we
changes
buffed
that we've
it.
made to
It's
the
back.
19 Ascendancy classes. While the biggest changes to the 3 we're heavily revamping, the Elementalist, Inquisitor, and Deadeye, all of the others have received at least numeric attention also.
Oh my.
We believe that the new design
Purdue?
philosophy for Ascendancy passives makes them easier to understand and that they are a more concentrated source of power. We look forward to revealing the rest of the changes next week. Like with improving Ascendancy classes, adding new skill and support gems to Path of Exile helps create new ways to play. In Echoes of the Atlas, we've introduced 2 new gems
So-
that provide versatile ways for you to build.
Yeah, I'm still
powerful
stuck on the
characters.
Inquisitor thing.
These are the Hydrosphere skill gem.
But
and
also
Trinity Support Gem.
Slayer? Dude, Slayer OP
First,
now.
let's have a look at Hydrosphere. The skill summons a huge sphere of water. That
Oh,
you can
that
move
wasn't
around to
Void
crush
Sphere.
enemies. While it is active, you can apply cold or lightning ailments to it. It will then pulse for a duration, afflicting nearby enemies with damage matching that ailment.
Dude, the
This
freeze
player is
pulse.
applying freeze to the
Oh my
Hydrosphere with
gosh.
freezing pulse, and that causes it to repeatedly damage
gotta-
surrounding enemies with cold damage.
You got a turret freeze pulse.
Here's the gem hover for Hydrosphere. The skill gem can be acquired from level 34 and
Dude,
can
we
be
bringing my
supported
freeze
spell,
pulse build
barrier
back. Let's
effect,
go.
Duration, cold, orb, lightning, and physical support gems. It pulses every 0.4 seconds while an ailment is applied to it. It also converts its physical damage to cold or lightning damage based on what ailments are on it. The Trinity Support Gem is designed to support builds that deal multiple types of elemental damage.
What?
While Trinity supports your skill, any hits that deal damage with a specific element will build resonance with the other 2 elements. The more resonance you have of every element, the more damage the Trinity Support Gem provides. When you have high resonance with all 3 elements, Trinity also grants elemental penetration. Here you can see the player using Ball Lightning with Unleash and Magma Orb to build resonance across all 3 elements. To power up the Trinity Support Gem quickly and uniformly, the player alternates between pairs of elemental damage types.
Yes!
Combined with the elemental weakness curse, the maximum resonance Trinity absolutely decimates
Dude,
enemies.
this might be okay in Path of Exile,
In
but
addition
Path of
to
Exile
introducing the
2.
2 entirely new gems we described.
Wait, what are we doing? I
we've
see
done
Scorching Ray.
extensive balance pass on other skills.
Come on.
We have buffed over 40 existing gems.
Okay,
including
well, they're not
skills
gonna show
such as
numbers.
Scorching Ray,
Yes!
Seismic
Yes, Scorching
Strike,
Ray! Oh my gosh, are we
Firestorm,
starting Scorching
Burning
Ray?
Gyre, Static Strike, Kinetic Bolt, Crackling Lance, Lightning Strike, Shrapnel Ballista, and Artillery
Crackling Lance
Ballista.
sucks, so it needs a
Full
buff.
details will be available in the patch notes next week so that you can plan your perfect build. As well as introducing and rebalancing skills, another important aspect of keeping the metagame fresh in a Path of Exile expansion is adding new unique items to discover and build characters around. Unlike most items you find in Path of Exile that are randomly generated, unique items are extremely rare ones that our design team have hand-created to offer new build opportunities. Echoes of the Atlas introduces 10 new unique
Yeah,
items,
it'll probably
some of which
still
are
suck.
exclusive to its new endgame encounters. Let's have a look at a few. These are some unique worm-scale boots called Legacy of Fury. They place scorched ground as you travel, which applies the Scorch ailment to enemies standing in it. When scorched enemies die, they have a chance to set fire to surrounding enemies, dealing a percentage of the slain enemy's life over time. These boots create an interesting and new way to support your build with fire damage. This is a
Huh.
new unique amethyst ring called Black Flame, which is
Cool, I
themed around
guess.
fire and chaos damage. Its headline effect is that your ignites now deal chaos damage,
Yes!
along with a cool new chaos ignited effect on monsters. Also, if you ignite a wither
Yes!
while wearing Black Flame, the wither will no longer expire, and you can build up to its maximum of 15 stacks, if the enemy survives long enough, that is. Along with its various other benefits, this unique ring should ignite a few new ways of playing fire and chaos damage characters.
Dude,
These
straight
new
up.
Zealot gloves are called Hand of the Fervent and create an interesting interaction between
Hex
physical
Blast,
damage and
ignite.
the mana cost of skills. The unique ability of these gloves happens whenever you use a skill. They grant an effect called Sacrificial Zeal, which both adds a quarter of the skill's mana cost as spell physical damage, but also hurts you, to the tune of 150% of the skill's mana cost over 4 seconds.
Okay.
They also reduce your enemy's physical
damage.
reduction.
So,
When we have time during an expansion's development, we try to identify past leagues that can be integrated into the core game as optional side content, with a few improvements.
glove,
This
scold,
expansion
bridle.
contains 2
I'll take
such
it.
leagues. Last year, we released the Harvest League, which allowed you to grow a garden of monsters, fight them, and then use their lifeblood to craft your items in powerful ways. Watching this league unfold made us realize 2 things. Firstly,
A lot of people
the
was like,
crafting
too
options are
complicated,
so
didn't
powerful and
play.
so easily accessible that players had unprecedented access to almost everything they wanted very quickly.
Which
Secondly,
made it kinda
even
boring.
the players who did enjoy the mechanics of growing their own garden would probably find it boring if that was something they had to do every single league. When deciding how to integrate Harvest into the core game, we knew that we had to curtail crafting somehow, but we didn't want to just do this by nerfing it a lot. We needed a smarter solution that still allowed
Ziggy!
players to earn and
Ziggy,
perform
no!
powerful crafts. We also knew that we didn't want players
Ziggy!
to grow and manage their own gardens every league.
I heard
So
the
let's
Discord
check out
thing.
how Harvest works as part of the core game in Echoes of the Atlas. In Echoes of the Atlas, as you play through maps, rather than finding a seed cache, you'll now encounter a portal to the Sacred Grove. But it's not your own Sacred Grove, it's an established one that is a full complement of plants ready to harvest, fight, and craft with.
Okay, that's
The
cool.
grove contains several pairs of harvests to choose between, each displaying the details of the fight and the corresponding crafting options.
Oh, can you only choose
You
one?
can only pick one of each pair, so carefully choose which crafting options are best for you, defeat the monsters, and use their life force to perform the crafts.
That makes a whole lot more sense with the Atlas progression stuff.
If you're strong enough to kill the monsters, each grove represents quite a lot of crafting opportunities, and you can save up to 10 crafts for later use at the Hoarder crafting station, which is now available in your hideout.
Ooh.
We like this compromise
cool.
because it keeps the exciting elements of harvest, fighting, and crafting, and drops the part that got old quickly.
Did you just get those in the game, Dante?
We're also integrating the Heist League into the core game as optional content.
Or is that
with a few
on Twitch?
improvements. In Heist, players travel to the Rogue Harbor to hire a crew of thieves to help them plan and execute risky heists, working towards a thief's ultimate goal, pulling off a grand heist.
Oh, there we go.
In
I
the
see
Echoes
it.
of the Atlas expansion, heist contracts drop from Act 6
I think.
onwards.
No.
Rogues
Oh,
level
well.
up their skills
I'll figure out
faster
later.
for completing heists, markers drop with higher stack sizes, and quest contracts are now dropped for you at the next Smuggler's Cache as soon as that quest is available. One great aspect of heists
Oh,
is
there
that
it
all
is.
its
Okay.
progress items
Flame.
are tradable. So if you're focusing on other content, you can trade away your contracts until you're ready to go on some heists. So we've covered most of the big features of Echoes of the Atlas so far. Keep an eye out for the patch notes in a few days where we will detail other changes that didn't make it into this presentation. Soon we'll move on to the Q&A about today's announcements. But first, let's have a quick look at the
I don't know
new
how I feel
supporter
about the
packs
heist
that are
stuff.
available right now to celebrate the Echoes of the Atlas expansion and the Ritual Challenge League, and to help fund the ongoing development of Path of Exile.
Now the
The Faith's
Harvest looks pretty good, how they're doing it.
masses of points to spend
But I
in
mean,
the
I guess
store,
Heist is more
social
Heist.
frames, forum titles and badges, a download of the digital soundtrack, and of course exclusive cosmetic microtransactions such
That
as
looks
armor
pretty cool.
sets and character effects. The Renegade series has an exclusive pet, and the Faithsworn series an exclusive portal effect. Each series has 2 packs, and the smaller
Yeah,
packs can be
portal's
upgraded
too
to
big.
their respective larger packs at any time while they are still on sale. These are, of course, in
Oh,
addition
that
to
looks
the new
cool.
core packs that we released a couple of weeks ago.
Oh wait, no, those are
Remember
the
to
ones
check
from
those
yeah.
out if you haven't already.
That last
Thanks
one makes so
for
much
your
more
support.
sense.
As you know, purchases of these packs are what fund ongoing development of Path of Exile, its expansions, and its sequel. Speaking of Path of Exile 2, we know you're keen for an update. While today is all about Path of Exile and Echoes of the Atlas, we have plenty of Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile mobile updates planned for you this year, which will start sooner than you think. Our team have been creating some amazing stuff, and we can't wait to reveal it to you.
Gonna lurk. Have a good one, Dante.
So, I'm sure you have a bunch of burning questions about
GG.
Echoes of the Atlas. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I
as we
wanna
join
see
Ziggy
what he
D, who will be
says.
hosting a Q&A
I'll
with
probably
me
post
based on
these
your
as 2 different
questions from
videos.
Twitch chat.
Yeah, At first I was worried about scope, seeing everything, and then now it looks like it's pretty good. Pretty solid. This might be my most played league, is what I'm guessing. Because yeah, this looks really good. This looks insanely good. I have no clue what skill I'm gonna play, and that's a bad thing because that means I'm probably gonna be jumping back and forth. I want some build that can do everything and do it well, and I love Scorching Ray, but most of the time Scorching Ray is not the best. But if it's literally half the cast time and I can stack it fully in half the time, then I could do like plop a flame wall down, Scorching Ray for like 2 seconds, and then plop another flame wall, Scorching Ray. So I might be able to make my Scorching Ray flame wall build that I started last league actually come true, and I don't know where I want to do, but yeah. If I'm gonna be racing though, I'm probably gonna try to do some kind of poison build. I'm wondering if we get too many nerfs to, like, say the Blade Blast poison or even Lancing Steel kind of thing. Which at that point I might try to do one of those builds. Blade Blast is so easy to do, and like just play assassin and feel good. So I might do that, but yeah. Oh, I have plenty of offshoot builds, Dragon. But yeah. Overall, this is insanely hype. I'm curious on how Harvest feels and a few things like that. I like what they're doing with the Atlas. I kind of am curious to know what it feels like from people who don't like the complexity and stuff like that, because the complexity and stuff, when they get too much, like I feel like the Ascendancy Atlas trees are a little too, like the Atlas skill trees are probably just a little too much for some people. But yeah, we'll we'll see how that gets received. Um, Pretty much the good news is for content creation, if you find a strategy that works for you, you can throw it up and then people are probably just going to follow it. The bad news is, like, that's exactly what people are going to do. They're just going to follow a strategy that somebody puts up. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much Path of Exile in a nutshell these days, is people just following guides, which is kind of interesting, but I don't know. From a let's just YOLO kind of standpoint, I'm loving it. Like, this is 10 out of 10 league for me right now, is what it's sounding like. Like, this might actually be my new favorite league. One of my most played leagues was Harbinger, and that's because they added all the 10 acts, and then there was the new in game and everything else. And yeah, every time they change the end game, I end up playing a lot longer. My question is do I try to race? Because every time I try to race, I end up doing the race and then having to restart, and then for some reason when I restart, kind of fall off. So I don't know. It depends on what races are going on, and how much practice I can get in literally a week, and we'll go from there. So if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Let me know in the comments what you think about the upcoming Do Everything. It's a lot. But anyway, guys, that'll be it for this one. Usual stuff in the description, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, stuff like that. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.